the gym. Old stomping grounds. Hank Patterson, fly fishing guide.
Riley Smith, tight end.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, you wouldn't happen to be the kicker?
No, tight end.
Again, thank you. I'm looking for a kicker for Lithia Ford's fall kickoff sale. But you're not the kicker.
No.
Yeah. Nah, the kicker's probably taller and in a lot better shape. So, okay. What position do you play?
Tight end.
Squats. Yeah, try it sometime.
I may be retired, but I still have finances to manage. With direct deposit and automatic payments, ICCU makes it easy to spend less time banking and more time baking.
RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, is going all in this season with an all-star lineup. First up, he led the Broncos to 3 conference championships and 10 20-win seasons. It's Coach Leon Rice. Next, he's the founder and CEO of RowPaint.com. He played a little basketball in high school on the driveway with his mom. It's Andy Rowe.
Oh, no. Want to just paint my house?
Now that I can do. When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust RowPaint.com to get that job done right.
It's time for Ball Talk with Sanford and Johnny. From what's happening on the blue at Boise State to the Mountain West and beyond. The biggest storylines, the best guests, and most outlandish opinions from 2 dudes who eat, sleep, and breathe college football. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Canned Cocktails is perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Ball Talk with Sanford and Johnny, featuring former Boise State quarterback and longtime coach Mike Sanford, and KTIK 95.3 FM The Ticket's Johnny Mallory on Bronco Nation News.
What's going on? Season 1. How did this happen? Episode 9. Here we are. Ball Talk. Appreciate everybody for spending part of their Monday night with us. And if you're watching this a little bit later, obviously appreciate you guys viewing in as well. I'm John Mallory, Johnny Ballgame, my partner, Mike Sanford, the coach, and we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. If you are watching this on any other platform than YouTube right now, we ask, BJ Rains asks that you switch over to the BNN YouTube channel. That way we can read your comments during the show and whatnot, and BJ prefers to track things on YouTube. So if you wouldn't mind, find us on YouTube. Coach Sanford, episode 9, man. What's going on?
Hey, man. What a time to be alive. Like, just in the swing of college football, pro football. Monday Night Football's on right now. Last week, you were a dirty dog watching your Seahawks. Now I got my guy Jay Love up there, just tied it up. But I'm going to be more disciplined than you, Johnny. I'm going to keep my eyes focused right here on the only Broncos that really matter, and that's Bronco Nation. So excited to be on. And more importantly, I can't tell you how fired up I am to go to my first game with my family, Boise State game here in Fort Collins.
Wow.
This Saturday night at 7:45. It'll be a beautiful, crisp fall evening in the Front Range. Fort Collins is one of the most just impressive cities, communities, and Campus Stadium is absolutely spectacular. So I've been plugging it all week. I want to have a chance to meet a bunch of you out there at Canvas Stadium. Me and my wife, Anne Marie, and our 3 kids will be decked out. We made a huge purchase at Blue and Orange Store. Should show up before game day to make sure that my kids are all decked out and ready to go.
Oh, it's going to be great. I can't wait to see the pictures, man. And yeah, you're doing the Bronco Nation News post-game show and pre-game show from Fort Collins. So it's going to be a huge week for BNN. I'll certainly be tuning in as well there, Coach.
Hey, Johnny, real quick,
yeah.
Johnny, I hate talking over you, but I'm so excited, man. Like, I think that the only way you can celebrate this moment is by having a little Zinny Lenny right here. Just throwing a little Zinny just to celebrate with my friends online that are jamming into my comments, asking about my favorite Zen. Just little change up tonight for the spearmint, but just for all of you that are on the fence about chewing tobacco or quitting, just quit tobacco. You can join the Zen revolution. There's no cancer-causing agents. It's been a great decision, Johnny. And they're not a sponsor of the show, but apparently it's in the comment section. It's a big deal. So
I read those, man.
It's for the fans, man. It's for the fans.
We'll get to those comments during Mailbag. It's a lot easier if you type out question before you type your question. That way we can sniff through them a little easier and spell those out for you guys for Mailbag. All right, Coach, before we get to the 35-27 comeback thriller on the Blue Saturday night, Boise State, maybe a season saver. A lot of people are saying just the world of college football, another crazy week. What stood out to you, Coach Sanford, analyst, also Coach Sanford, fan now?
Yeah, so the 10 a.m.s hit us right between the eyes with OU and Texas. And what a back and forth ball game. National championship hopes on the line for the Burnt Orange and the Longhorns, and just couldn't get it accomplished. Dylan Gabriel with a superhuman effort to find a way to just will his team to victory in the Red River Shootout. Just Oklahoma in just 1 year. It shows the power of the transfer portal and just the impact that the portal had. B, it shows Brent Venables' value as a defensive mind. Just a very aggressive national champions at Clemson when he was the defensive coordinator. And then Jeff Lebby is the offensive coordinator. He's the son-in-law of Art Briles, good friend of mine. And he's a fantastic football coach. And you just see that offense is just clicking. And he brought his guy, Dylan Gabriel, from UCF, that's gone through a whole heck of a lot.
He's a slinger, man.
He's a baller, man.
Dylan Gabriel is a gunslinger, dude. He's great. Guys like that are great for college football, right, Coach? Because we probably won't see him have a long illustrated career in the pros. In most cases, they just don't. It's fine. You can be great college players, and Dylan Gabriel, when we think back on this era, he's going to be one of those quarterbacks, man. Yeah, I'm with you, man. That was a hell of a win for Oklahoma in the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah. Hey, are you having any issues hearing me right now?
No, none whatsoever.
BJ, real quick, are we good over there on the mic side of things?
Yeah, I think you're can you hear me? You see me?
Yeah, I see you, hear you, everything.
Yeah, I think just click your settings at the bottom and make sure you click audio, and then make sure you got make sure the sound's coming out of your Zoom mic.
Oh, good call.
I think you're coming out of the laptop mic there, since we had to
Sanford had to switch some stuff over. He had a big meeting he had to do, so he had to reconfirm his settings there. So let's get that taken care of. You guys hear, Coach?
Oh, we can hear you. It wasn't bad. It's not bad, but I think you're coming out of the laptop mic there. So
we're good. I think is that better?
Yeah. I don't know if that did anything or not, but it's good. You're fine.
Okay.
After Texas, Oklahoma, what else stood out?
I think the big one that I was watching closely was just Michigan. I mean, they've been a bit of an enigma. It just seems like every week it's just an easy win against a team that's, not necessarily on their level. And they go on the road to play a Minnesota team that's won, 9 to 11 games in, I think, 4 of the last 6 seasons. And that was an absolute just drubbing in any possible way. So much so that Minnesota was actually losing that game by 21 points in the fourth quarter and didn't attempt one pass attempt because they didn't want to get beat any worse, and ended up losing 52-10. So Michigan vying for that number 1 CFP spot, but Georgia said, hold my beer. and Georgia ends up taking Kentucky, undefeated Kentucky, the Wildcats coming off of a huge win the week before. And Georgia goes in, 52-13. So those two are just running through their conferences, particularly this last Saturday. I think that they were big statement wins against teams that they should win against, but they did it in an extremely dominant fashion. It shows that Michigan team. I love watching JJ McCarthy.
Jim Harbaugh, coach, says they will break the record this April, May for most players drafted off one team in 1 year. Harbaugh says it, and I believe him. He thinks there's 16, 17, 18 kids on that team now that
they're
get
running
drafted.
Back. Gosh, Blake Corum. Just an absolute workhorse, but then can hit a home run. He can hit singles, doubles. Like he's just the guy. And then, Irish eyes are not smiling. Notre Dame goes into Louisville and just lays an egg. A lot of questions right now about Notre Dame's offense. A lot of questions about Marcus Freeman right now. And, they got a huge game, which we'll talk about in our Pick 6 segment. But USC, who keeps on just barely surviving, Johnny, with arguably the best quarterback that's not in a top 10 NFL franchise on planet Earth, and Caleb Williams. And they just keep squeaking by. And will that run out? That luck, that edging out, kind of getting too cute. We'll see, Johnny. But
will Alex Grinch figure it out? That guy's been a high-level, huge, mega program coordinator for a long time. So at some point, they're not going to fire Lincoln Riley. So USC needs to get that thing together defensively, no question. What about the Mountain West? Fresno goes up to Laramie and couldn't get it done.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Laramie is a tough place to play, especially right now. Craig Bull, they're playing bull ball up there in Laramie, Wyoming. Andrew Peasley, your boy, had a chance to coach him. Love him. My family loves him. We got to know him really well. He was our third string quarterback at Utah State. He was a freshman. And Jordan Love, Henry Colombi was the backup, and he went on to Texas Tech as the starter after I left for Minnesota. And then Peasley left and went to Wyoming. Tried to get him here at CU last year, but
did you really?
We didn't have any spots left, which just absolutely broke my heart. Because thing about Andrew Peasley, nobody knows he's had multiple knee injuries, 2 surgeries, if I'm not mistaken. But that young man can scoot. He was a 4.40 player, and that guy is.
Have you seen him play basketball? Have you seen Peasley hoop?
Yeah, they hooped at my house. Reverse dunks in the front yard. Just putting. You should have seen
amazing athlete.
The combination of he and Jordan Love playing basketball in the same driveway was really impressive. I was like, this is a good quarterback group. I've never had a group that could hoop like this. No offense, Niner and Skinley, Ryan Finley, but you didn't quite have those basketball attributes. And they'd argue with that, especially Finley.
Oh, Hedrick.
Finley thinks he should be in the NBA right now. Air Force, they look so good this year. They're so solid. Their defense is nasty. When they have that offense cooking, and they have a running back that's he was the 100-meter champion in the Mountain West Conference. Like, that's scary to have that kind of speed combined with that scheme that is so challenging to defend in so many ways. I'm anxious to watch how the Front Range football plays out this weekend. BJ is going to be staying here at the Sanford household over the weekend. We're going to go to the Stanford at CU game. It'll be BJ's first time back at Folsom in over 15 years since his KU days. And then you got, Laramie, the Cowboys, the Cowpokes are traveling down to Colorado Springs, which is about an hour and a half from my house. You got CU Stanford. And then most importantly, you got the one I'm really excited for, and that's Boise State coming home, coming to my hometown, just a 40-minute drive from my house. And to say I'm excited is a crazy understatement.
What was going through your head during that game, pregame, halftime, postgame? Let's hear it. Ball talk. Mike Sanford, your thoughts, 35-27 victory against San Jose State on the blue.
Yeah, I was probably like every single other fan, because that's exactly what I am. I'm a fan and an analyst, and we all, clearly by reading Twitter, all of us are just analysts, right? Especially not just at Boise State, all across college football and pro football. We're all analysts, and trust me, I read all the takes. I listen to all the takes. I'm not somebody who likes to just disagree with everybody or say that I'm the only person who has correct takes. The truth always lies somewhere in between it all, right? And so the 2-quarterback system, I was like you all. I have no idea how it was going to go. And frankly, through 2 quarters, it was an abstract failure. It really was. Like, it felt like when one quarterback got into a rhythm, all of a sudden here comes Mad Dog, or then Mad Dog gets into a rhythm, here comes Talon. And I think everybody at halftime is like, what are we doing? And then the second half rolls around, and you saw a lot of the fruition, you saw the fruits of that 2-quarterback system in that second half. And what ended up being one of the absolute best moments in terms of a comeback, come from behind victory at Albertson Stadium in its history. Coming back from 27-7, not only to just come back at halftime with that kind of deficit, but to do it against a very capable offense, with a very capable quarterback in Chevy Cordero. I mean, you can't forget that this is arguably one of the most statistically dynamic players in Mountain West history at the quarterback position.
Yep.
And to bottle him up and essentially shut him out in the second half, just major tip of the cap. And what I would give a tip of the cap to is Talon Green. The way TG10 responded. I said it last week on the show, Johnny. I said that if TG10 can respond with a chip on his shoulder and show that, then he's a dude, like a dude. And he responded, particularly in that second half, just with playing with a fire that I haven't seen. And maybe that was the intention of it all. Like, we don't see the meetings. We don't see everything is to just light that competitive spirit, that competitive fire inside of TG10. We saw it also with Ashton Genty in the second half, just after the 2 fumbles that really contributed to the deficit of 20 points, just the fire he played with, and seeing TG10 and Ashton Genty in that second half and the hurdles, my gosh,
they lead the nation in hurdles, I believe.
And they're not just they're like amazing hurdles. I mean, these aren't normal. Like, I haven't coached many players that can truly jump over another Division I athlete and land on their feet, and get more positive yards. There was a take from one of my besties from my Boise State days, Alex Guerrero, that San Jose State had more talent. When I was watching Ashton Genty at 5'8", 210 pounds, bowling ball, just jump over another human being, and then I see TG10 at 6'6", look like a high jumper and a triple jumper and a hurdler all in one play. And then I see Eric McAllister catch a back shoulder, run out of it, and take it to the crib. I'm like, dude, if anybody thinks there's a talent deficit on this roster, and we don't have as good of players as San Jose State, you're crazy. Because I saw in that second half what kind of talent we have. And it was almost like that talent just all finally came together in all 3 phases playing complementary football. And I was fired up, man. And it was great to see.
What do you think happened at halftime? You've been in these situations. Heck, I remember in 2014 on the Blue, San Diego State takes you guys apart. Nobody's there. Everybody left. It was snowing. Halftime, I mean, the dynamics of that, or if something was said, or maybe it's just you get out of the arena for 15 minutes, wash your face, shake your head off, figure out what's going on. How do you think halftime went? Sometimes seasons are saved at halftime. Maybe that was the case, maybe not, but it is kind of like I need some type of explanation for what happened in that second half. San Jose State had 1 total first down in the half, and Boise State's offense, credit Bush again, almost another 500-yard performance of this offense, and you scored 35 points. Halftime, though, what do you think was said? What goes on in those situations?
I think I wasn't there. Clearly, I was in the friendly confines of my house here in Colorado. But if I were to just judge it based off the personalities that I know, and Bush Hamden, Spencer Danielson, who I know a little bit, and then certainly knowing Andy Avalos, having played with him, my guess would be that there was a lot of calm, and there was poise, and there was what I think really did happen, whether it was verbalized, whether it was side conversations, whether it was in front of the whole team. I think that there was a challenge to the leaders and the basically the guys of this roster in the second half to go play. and the response was incredible. It really was. And just, I think it was more of a challenge to just the will, the pride for that logo that you wear on your helmet, the name that you have on the back of your jersey. Like, I think that was challenged. And I think that the superstars emerged incredibly well. And, I came out of that game afterwards, Johnny, like, wow, what just happened? Like, all of us, like, so proud of being an alum of just a second largest crowd in Albertson Stadium history for a team at the time. It's 2-3, and there's a lot of negative talk on social media and us idiots in the media. I mean, and Bronco Nation showed up, stayed for the light show, and they got a way better show, to the tune of a 20-point comeback, and just to stay, as the leaders of the Mountain West Conference. And it was incredible. And I'll be at a game at New Mexico here in November. Anne-Marie and I are coming back, and I can't wait to see all the additions and the game day atmosphere and the environment that's changed so much since I was there 8 years ago.
You got to meet Jeremiah Dickey in person too. You got to see how big Talon Green is. I just want you to stand next to him. There's a bunch of stuff you got to check off when you get to the Blue, Coach. We can't wait for that. The mic drop is coming in 1 second, you guys. Big mic drop. By the way, I got to throw this in. It is now the Bronco Brew Coffee mic drop. Coach Sanford has sold his broadcasting soul to brew a cup of joe. Yes, Bronco Brew Coffee, supporting Boise State University athletics with every sip in the Sanford household. So the Bronco Brew Coffee mic drop, Coach.
Well, first off, can I give a little shout out to my friends, my partners in crime at Bronco Brew?
Oh,
first
comes
off,
with the live read too, huh? The sponsorship package. Okay.
Look at this too, man. I mean, this is you got Bronco Nation. I'm somewhere like right kind of on the blue and orange right there where the Midwest hits the Rocky Mountains. First off, this coffee is unbelievably good. I'm a daily coffee drinker. Let's just face it, we all waste a lot of money at Starbucks. So get a good machine at home or get a nice, they'll grind it for you. The thing I love about Bronco Brew is look when this was roasted, October 3rd. You know what day it is? Good. It's October 9th. And this has been sitting in my mailbox since Friday.
That's how quick.
You want fresh coffee that goes to an awesome cause, which is keeping us in the relevant seat of the NIL world. You can choose who your monthly subscription or weekly subscription, which athletes that goes to or which teams that goes to across all Boise State athletics. I think I know who mine's going to. You can even see right here my hat that I'm wearing. That's the TG10 edition of the NIL hat. I'm all in, man. Hey, if I can support these athletes but get really awesome products, I think it's a win-win. Like that's where I'm at. That's what NIL is designed for.
I think next week you're going to be wearing a Los Betos polo. I love it, man. I can picture it already, Coach. Yeah,
I'm like the Ricky Bobby at Boise State. Yeah. I'll decide any sponsor. You just throw some coffee my way, and I'm all in. And believe it or not, I actually paid for this coffee. It's not even a freebie, so that's how much I love it.
Let's get that mic drop.
Oh, you don't like me plugging the sponsors, do you, Johnny? Huh? You want the real meat and potatoes, do you?
Oh, I love it, man. That was the best part of the show. You're actually terrific at it as well. Comment below if you're going to buy some of this coffee or more so too after that Sanford endorsement. Sanford, let's drop that mic, man.
Yeah, I have a really unique mic drop, and it goes to one of my former teammates, a guy that I was involved in his recruiting process, and that's Bush Hamden. And I'm going to mic drop Bush Hamden, but most of all, I want to tip my cap. The guy that I shared a quarterback room with for a couple of years and have shared a friendship with for quite some time. But, amongst all of I would call it the negativity surrounding the start to this season, I can just tell by watching the way this offense operates, I can see that this offense just continues to just go to work. Bush continues to go to work. I think he's surrounded by a really good group of coaches, one that I know incredibly well, obviously in Matt Miller. I think he's a phenomenal receiver coach. I think he's incredibly brilliant. But the reason I want to tip my cap on this mic drop to Bush Hamden is he did something on Saturday that I believe I could never do. And that's call an entire game with two different quarterbacks rolling in and out and having a call sheet dedicated, or a section of the call sheet dedicated to each quarterback. And while it certainly had some times that it felt uneasy for us fans and we're scratching our heads, but at the end of the day, it played to the strengths of both young men. And more important than the fact that he called the game effectively and without any major penalties, no delay of games, you just didn't look and see that there was any disconnect between what they were attempting to do with two quarterbacks. It looked very organized, very well. It was a well-oiled machine. And more than that, Johnny, is the fact that you had, after TG10's touchdown drive to go win this football game, with an incredible play call to my man, Riley Smith, wide open in the flat, great ball, just great anticipation by TG10, who was there celebrating right there, hooping and hollering right next to TG10 as he comes off the sideline. It was Mad Dog Matson. And so I'm going to tip my cap to Bush Hamden for calling an effective game with two quarterbacks, which very few of us OCs across the country can do. But I'm also going to tip my cap to the health of that quarterback room for them to be able to handle that with such class, such team sportsmanship, such camaraderie, that they came away celebrating that victory together. And to that, I say tip of the cap to Bush Hamden, to that quarterback room, and to this program for responding to what a lot of us thought would be an unmitigated disaster, and it certainly wasn't.
Do the action. Yeah, do the thing with your hand. Do the thing with your hand, Coach.
Oh, and we're back. No. And we're back. There we go.
No, man, no.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted you to actually do the drop. You missed it this week. Okay, there's the
Is that better?
Drop. Yeah. All right. So, I mean, last week you had skepticism like everybody did. So what you've seen moving forward, are you singing a different tune regarding the two quarterback system for this team at this time?
No.
Find a guy.
Oh man, you love that. I went on a rant for the ages, about the two quarterback system. I just think that over the course of a competitive Mountain West slate, which at Colorado State is ahead of us, Wyoming's ahead of us, Air Force is ahead of us. There's some challenging ball games that are right in front of us. Can the exact same shuffling of the quarterbacks mid-series yield the same results? I don't know. And if it does work, then count me as a guy that was just absolutely mind blown by it. And I was in the second half of last game. But I do think that there was a fire lit under TG10 that activated his supreme giftedness. His down the field throw to EMAC, like we saw some things from TG10 that he was a man with something to prove, but it wasn't that I'm pissed off about the situation. It's that I'm going to prove that I'm the player that I believe I am. And so I'm a humongous fan of TG10's because I keep seeing the clay. I see the clay that, you're in there before you put it in the kiln, you're shaping it, you're forming it, and the clay is there. And the clay is there to be a Sunday player. And I still believe that. I still think that Bush and Andy believe that. But I still think that this is going to be TG10's team when it's all said and done.
EMAC, could you get that kid to play on Sundays? It feels like he's on that trajectory.
Man, I'm
with the season he's having, two quarterbacks all over the place there. Coach, is EMAC kid?
You there, Johnny?
Yeah,
Johnny?
We're going to play a quick one. We'll be right back in a second on Ball Talk. Yeah.
All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of premix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone. Get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com.
Sanford and Johnny here. Okay, hopefully that cleared some stuff up there, Coach. I wanted to move on to the topic of self-scout. I hear coaches talking about it all the time. Very, very important element in coaching. What are we doing well? When are we doing it? When are we calling it? You have to pay attention within your own building. I know you're a huge believer. All coaches are mega believers in self-scout. You got 6 games of work now, not only for you, obviously your opponents too, but is Andy and this staff, Bush, where's self-scout out right now with this team?
Yeah, so you're right in the thick of it, Johnny. You bring up a great point at a great time and great topic for you to bring up, Johnny. Just continue to show me how much ball you know, which is why we have ball talk, right? Because 2 guys that love ball and know ball. Johnny might know ball better than me, but what I would say is after 4 games, that's where you really start building up some tendencies and being, in that 5th, 6th, 7th week of the season, you start to really look at on both sides of the ball. You have to start looking at yourself from the perspective of what is the defensive coordinator that's preparing for you say about you as a play caller, or say about you in your personnel groupings, or say about you in your formations. And a lot of that has to do with run pass tendencies, percentages broken down, by certain people on the field, whether it be 1 tight end, 3 receivers, and 1 back, which we'd call 11 personnel, or if you have 2 tight ends on the field, are you an 80% run team? Well, the thing I love about building tendencies, even myself, sometimes I intentionally had awful tendencies early in the season because I love breaking tendencies when it really counts, and so
I love hearing that.
93%, when you have, Stanford days, right? We were 93.7% run when we had an extra offensive lineman on the field plus 2 tight ends. So what does that lead to? It leads to a 4th and 2 call or 4th and 1 call with a game on the line at Oregon where you break your tendency and then you beat the number 1 team in the country. And so I love the self-scout piece, not just to be able to oh man, I'm such a bad play caller. I do this every time out of this formation. I look at it a little bit differently, being the positive dude that I am. I'm well, tendencies are made to be broken. Let's dial up something. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. You have so many quality control coaches and analysts now that are now working on self-scout each and every week. I love the quality control guy that would show up into my office after week 1 of the season, be Coach, here are your tendencies. And I'm it's week 1. There are no tendencies. I just called the game to win the game. Come back to me in 2 weeks, bud. But keep doing your work, man. Keep doing your work because it's valuable. But just right now, after 1 game, man, let's go. And I think the other piece, defensively, if you have a nickel package, a dime package, a 3-down sub package, or even sometimes if you have just 1 true down defensive lineman and you have a rush package on 3rd down, it's what are the actual blitz percentages? And then if you're a defensive coordinator, you want to break down, where are you blitzing from? Are you a field boundary blitz team? Are you blitzing obviously in the A gaps, which would be straight down the middle between the center and both guards? And those are also great tendencies because then I was at the Broncos Jets game yesterday. And I watched Robert Saleh, who's just a mad scientist of a defensive coordinator. And as an offensive guy, he's a horrible human being, man. The stuff he designs to try to just ruin lives. And he did yesterday. He ruined our Broncos, our poor Denver Broncos lives.
They're getting to the point where they don't care. It's crazy. I've paid a lot of attention to that fan base in my life growing up, an Elway guy, real quick, Coach, and it's getting to the point you're piped into Denver Sports Talk Radio. They're 95% Broncos, 5% everything else typically in that town, and they're getting to the point where they don't give a shit. It's crazy to see what's happening.
It's a Nuggets.
Yeah,
it's a Nuggets Avs town right now. Now, with that being said, you show up yesterday to Empower Field, and it was like their 737th consecutive sellout or something crazy. Yeah. Like, they still show up, man. It's the longest sellout streak in the NFL. So they are a very loyal, passionate fan base, but there is apathy starting to set in, man. And it's 8 years worth of bad football. But to the point of Robert Saleh, he and the fumble that ended the game on Russ Wilson's attempted 2-minute drive I was watching it. I was in the end zone seats with Gunnar and Griffin, my 6 and 9-year-olds. And I'm sitting there watching it as a coach. And I was like, this is awesome. Like, I was high up. Like, I was literally like the end zone camera was my angle of the game. And I watched the mug backer. Mosley comes and mugs it over the right guard. You have a defensive end outside, and then Quincy Williams is outside of him. And so Russ is pointing out Quincy Williams, but the way they ran the stunt, they had to protect because Mosley has blitzed through that A and B gap. And so they weren't able to kick the slide all the way out. And of course, it freed up Quincy Williams. Russ saw him, tried to run away, didn't have good ball security, ends the game. Those are the things that, like, Robert Saleh is looking, is we're a heavy blitz tendency that we mug up Mosley, we bring him, or we pick stun him with another defensive end. And then all of a sudden now he breaks that tendency in the most critical situation probably of the Jets season, to be able to salvage what, may have ended up being going down the wrong way for the Jets 2 weeks in a row with close games. Yeah. So I think self-scout's so incredibly important.
It's crazy. And with 6 weeks now, how do you self-scout like the quarterback situation? You have one data, you have one form of sample this game. I mean, are you looking at that saying, well, Colorado State doesn't know what the heck we're going to run? Hell, we don't know exactly what the heck we're going to run. What do you think self-scout, in terms of the quarterback position?
Yeah, I think they're going to start looking at, obviously run pass tendencies. And I think that already happened. If you think about the shot play, the post that was thrown to EMAC by TG in I think that was the third quarter. Am I right in saying that? I think it was the third quarter, late in the third quarter. That was probably a formation and a look that just kind of screamed run. And that's why you got safeties to commit to the box, because right now, Ashton Genty is the premier player in the Mountain West Conference. No question. Like, there's nobody in this conference that has dominated games like Ashton Genty. And now you're starting to see teams that are playing quarter safeties that typically play flat-footed, 10, 11 yards and get a read. Now those safeties are starting to be about 7 yards right after the ball snapped, which gives you great opportunity to throw those balls over the field, over the top of the defense.
What's Norvell thinking? What's going on in those coaching rooms? Do they think Boise State's beatable? I'm certain they do. They've had an up and down season. They played some good teams. What do you think Norvell and his assistants are talking about this week on how they can win?
Well, I think they have to get the same Brennan Fowler Nicolosi that they got against CU, and they got to get the same mentality defensively, that they had against CU, because they dominated 3 quarters and 12 minutes in that game. They were the team that impressed everybody, certainly here in the state of Colorado. And so, number one, they're thinking, let's pressure these guys, give a dirty box to run in. So a box that, isn't clean and not a standard, 4 down front, 2 linebackers in the box, and then adjust your apex players based off of where the slot receivers are. They're going to mug their backers. They're going to show exotic pressures. To be honest, they're going to junk ball Boise State this week. I really believe that, because they junk balled CU. And that's when they had their success. I didn't have a chance to watch much of the Utah State CSU game, but my guess would be that they kind of thought they were a better football team going into that game. And, Cooper Legault, a young man that I recruited at Utah State, he's a tremendously gifted thrower and runner. And, he had his way. And then on the flip side, Brendan Fowler-Nicolosi went from being one of the hottest names in our conference to being 44% completion percentage, or 46, right in that number, on 54 pass attempts for only 225 yards, and threw 3 picks, no touchdowns. So, it's a little bit of that kind of uneven growth chart that you see in a quarterback that's starting for the first time. I think this is going to be his 4th start. But they're going to believe that they can beat Boise State. I mean, there's no question about that, but it's going to have to be predominantly through the air. This is an air raid system. The run game has not been a humongous part of what they do. They ran the ball really successfully in one game, and that was against CU. They looked like they had a ground attack in the CU game, but outside of that, it hasn't been, they're averaging 2.2 yards a carry, Johnny, on the ground, which,
that's horrible.
Yeah. And what I'd say is that I have liked the consistency of our rush defense throughout the course of this year. There's been uneven times, but there always is. But I think
two games were slow. First two games I thought were tough, but those were the best teams you played too.
Right. And especially, a dynamic quarterback that can run in game 2 against John Reese Plumlee, and they're a different team without him. And then, week 1, I mean, you're just outmatched. They're playing against what might be a top 3 team in the country.
When you make a major move with your program like Andy did, we're playing both quarterbacks, 2-quarterback system, we're moving forward with this. Is it tougher to sell the kids or sell their parents? And how does that come into play? Is it tough for the kids to sell their parents? No, Dad, no, it's fine. Don't worry. We're going to make this work. We'll assess the end of the season at the end of the season, because, I'm going to be shocked, and I would have regardless of a 2-quarterback system or not. I'm going to be shocked if both these kids are here. I'll even say for the bowl game. Kids now leave as soon as the end of the regular season is over. They want to get in that portal before bowl games and whatnot. I don't know if both kids will be here for the bowl game, but, I mean, what's the flow of that, especially maybe as an OC? Maybe mom and dad will call you before they're going to call the head coach, that type of deal. What do you make of what's going on with the future of this thing? And is that typically a tough sell when you make a drastic change at this point in the season?
Well, in this instance, and whether it be recruiting, whether it be retention of your roster, what is always going to trump everything else is relationships, the strength of the relationships that you have. The most important relationship is going to be, between the head coach and the players that we're talking about. And in this case, we're talking about 2 quarterbacks. And then, the coordinator on that side of the ball, position coach. And so those relationships have to be founded upon trust, which is founded upon truth. And what I do believe in, just watching what was said in the media with regards to, playing 2 quarterbacks, and then what actually happened on Saturdays, there was zero evidence of anything but truth being told with regards to what the plan was. Not telling the game plan to the media, because, of course you don't want your opponents knowing that, but I think it was handled correctly with regards to just building trust, and trust is what counts in relationship. And I think that also extends to the parents, and having really honest conversations. And I promise you, just having been in similar situations, I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of parents over the years with regards to redshirt decisions, transfer decisions. And I always just want to be honest. I want to throw everything out on the table, put my cards out on the table, and then invite the athlete and the parents to throw all their cards out on the table, and just set that up as a basis for the conversation that we're about to have. Last year I dealt with it, with CU. We had a true freshman quarterback that was, capable of moving the football, and frankly ended up being the guy that was most consistent, with just doing what the offense asked of him, had mobility. Well, his dad happened to be Josh McCown. So it was Owen McCown was our true freshman.
You have McCown's kid? Yeah, you have McCown's kid at CU. There's another
McCown
coming, dude.
They're
Josh
everywhere.
McCown just quit playing, and now he's got a kid in college. I love it, man. One of the great pro careers in quarterbacking history is Josh McCown. He stays in the league for like 20 years, starts maybe 30 games. He's got his head, he's got his health, he's got fat checks. Like, I love it, man. You had McCown's kid, huh?
In the recruiting process, he was committed and signed before I got here. So I actually went and visited his family at their ranch down in Texas. It was down in Texas too.
Nice
it was
place.
Like, it wasn't near Dallas. It wasn't near Houston. It was out there in East Texas. And it was so fun to get to know Josh and that family. Not only did he have one of the most incredible careers, but he also is one of the most honest, incredible people, man of integrity, and their entire family is that way. But which made that relationship, like me going out there, I had conversations with Josh. I mean, I'm talking 2-hour-long conversations at 5:30 in the morning, just talking about, the decision to remove his red shirt or to, keep his red shirt, whether to start him the 5th game or red shirt him. And the reality was Owen was 157 pounds. He was a very underdeveloped freshman with a ton of gifts and attributes. And he was getting hit. He was getting hit hard. And so we made the decision. He started the Cal game. We won the Cal game. That was the first game I took over as the interim, but that was also happened to be the 4th game he played in. And just talking to his dad, talking to Owen, we just felt like it was in the best interest of his life, his future, and obviously the quarterback position not being too fragile and broken and all that stuff that comes with playing Oregon, Washington, USC, and Utah in back-to-back weeks. And so we made the decision, and now he's at UTSA. When I left, he transferred.
They win a lot of games there, man. Roadrunners, dude. That's a legit program now. That's a legit program.
And all Josh wanted was for him to develop in a positive environment. And for him, it was a place where he wasn't going to be asked to be the starter right then as a 162-pound or 57-pound true freshman quarterback.
I love it. Coach Sanford, Johnny Ball Talk, Season 1, Episode 9, our Circa Sports Pick 6. If you're rooting for Coach, maybe you gain some ground. Let's get to the Circa Sports Pick 6 right after
Bronco
this.
Nation News is sponsored by Tommy Alquist and Ball Ventures Alquist, Idaho's premier commercial real estate development company. BVA projects specialize in office, retail, flex, medical, and industrial spaces located at some of the most strategic and visible locations in the valley. Need a developer? Looking for new space? Think BVA. At BVA, we are Idaho's developer. The Nicolason family and SON management have proudly been operating Taco Bell restaurants in and around the Treasure Valley since 1969. One of the first to make a 7-figure donation to the Lyle Smith Society, they've also stepped up their support of Boise State athletics with the Taco Bell men's and women's basketball endowed scholarships. The Nicolason family and SON management have committed at least $310,000 by 2026. Get more information on their financial support of Boise State athletics and find information on applying to work at Taco Bell at tacobellworks.com. Lithia Ford of Boise is a proud supporter of Boise State athletics and the official car and truck of the Broncos. Lithia Ford of Boise supports Bronco student athletes through NIL deals, including providing Ford vehicles to Taylon Green and Riley Smith from the football team and Paige Barsh from the volleyball team. Rain's family purchased our F-150 from Lithia Ford. Couldn't be happier with the purchase. Check out the all-electric F-150 Lightning or the electric Mustang Mach-E at Lithia Ford, and make sure to check out their full inventory of vehicles at lithiafordboise.com. The Blue and Orange Store is the perfect spot to get all your gear for your next Bronco game. The Blue and Orange Store has official Nike apparel, including jerseys, shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, and more. Wear what the Broncos wear and get it at the Blue and Orange Store, the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall, or get free shipping on a $40 order online at theblueandorangestore.com.
And appreciate Circa Sports, our Pick 6 segment. And if you're going to go to Vegas, and I would highly recommend it, you're going to stay at Circa Resorts. I would also highly recommend that. It is the best of both worlds. He or she can stay in the pool while he or she stays in the pool and watches games, everything, entertainment, all that great stuff. You love Vegas, you're going to love heading to Circa. All right, Coach. We are tied. Coach Sanford continuing to gain ground on this Pick 6. And if you guys just would have listened to us throughout the season, you'd be up 6 games right now. Coach, you're 15-12. Myself, I'm 15-12. Quick recap before we get to our pick six this week, Coach. 3-1 last week. Another winning week for the Sandman. You take Michigan to cover. They did.
Easy.
You took your Hilltoppers, the place that fired you after 2 years. Who gets canned after 2 years? You still took them.
This guy does. You know why? You know why I picked him? Because money talks, brother. Keep going.
I love it. Okay, yes. And on the blue, you take San Jose State not to win. You take the +8.5. Boise State wins. They don't cover that half a point. They won by 8. The spread, I believe, was 8.5. So, Coach, you dodged that bullet there. Good for you. The only game you lost on was the Washington State Cougars and the UCLA Bruins. Well done.
They let me down. How about you?
I was 2 for 2, 2-2 actually. The 2 wins. I took the Oregon State Beavers to cover against Cal. They did. I took the Boise State, San Jose State over of 59, Coach. I thought we were going to get some points on the blue, not just the LED show. I thought there'd be points too. There was. So those are the 2 I hit. Coach, I missed on Fresno. And I had such confidence in Jeff Tedford that they were going to go up there and announce their presence with authority. They were going to nuke Lelouch these guys, and it did not happen. Bull ball, as you said, and the one guy we both love, Andrew Peasley. What a performance, Mountain West Player of the Week. I lost on that Fresno pick, and finally, Coach, I lost on Colorado State. I thought they were going to go to your old stomping grounds in Logan Maverick Stadium and handle Utah State, and they didn't get it done. So 2 wins, 2 losses. You won the week, Coach. What's your first pick?
First pick's a lock. It's not even close. Colorado hosting Stanford. Folsom will be electric. Friday night game. Colorado is favored by 12 points, and they're going to win by a whole heck of a lot more than 12 points. Why? Because Travis Hunter's back. He was back at practice today, had a highlight reel of a practice today, insane interception. Travis Hunter's going to be on full display. And Colorado's going into their bye week, so they're going to let it all loose this week. And Shedeur Sanders is going to continue to be one of the top 3 passers in college football.
Okay, I'm going with one of your former rivals. You have so many, it's difficult for me to keep track, but a very low-key rivalry, as nasty as they come, is Western Kentucky versus Middle Tennessee State. I believe they call it 100 miles of hate.
Didn't that already happen, Johnny?
No, I know. I'm not picking that.
All right. Sorry.
I'm setting this up. What's the name of that rivalry between Western and Middle?
100 miles of hate.
I did. I got it. I remembered that. Okay.
Yes.
Not 100 miles of hate. This is, I don't even know how many miles, 130 miles of ass kicking. And I'm going Tuesday night's a great night for football. I think this game is tomorrow on the Conference USA Tuesday night package. Middle Tennessee -3 against Louisiana Tech. I don't know who the Texter's quarterback is going to be. I don't care. I actually hope it's Hank Bachmeier. Give me Middle Tennessee State to cover 3 against Louisiana Tech. I believe that's Tuesday. If not, I think it's a Wednesday game. All right, Coach, who's next for you?
Pick number 2, American Airlines Stadium, Husky Stadium. Is that what they call it, Johnny? Is it American Airlines Stadium?
I believe it's Alaska Airlines Field.
I knew that. Alaska.
You should have known. Yeah, I mean, they put 70 on you last year.
Hey, it wasn't 70, bro. Easy, man. It was a tough day at the office, though. I'm not going to lie.
I love it.
Oregon, Washington's the game of the week. It's for Pac-12 supremacy. Oregon's the hot team right now because of what they did with the largest viewership in college football on this, first 6-7 weeks of the season. But we all saw Bronco Nation firsthand what a complete team that Washington is. They're dynamic receivers, quarterback that just makes all the right decisions, and then line play on both sides of the line that is suffocating. I like the overall package of UW much better, and I'm going to go UW with a -3 spread covering against the Oregon Ducks.
Well, what a setting that's going to be at the greatest setting Husky Stadium. And talk about nasty rivalries. In my lifetime, I've known no worse, dirtier, nastier rivalry than Oregon versus Washington. I mean, it is gruesome. Those fans absolutely despise each other. And that'll be a fun one. I didn't have the guts to pick that, too emotional with my Dogs coach. So I went with Ohio State at Purdue. This probably has 11 a.m., 10 a.m. written all over it, that morning window. I was impressed with Ohio State against Maryland last week. Maryland's undefeated. Ohio State beat them by 20, covered the spread. The spread's 19.5 in West Lafayette. I'm not buying that Purdue is going to make this even respectable, Coach. I think Ohio State is clicking right at the right time. Hopefully they get their running back. He's one of my favorite to watch in America. And this is, to me, I'm going to look at the score. I'm going to nod my head, and I'm going to see Ohio State 42, Purdue 13, and I'm going to laugh all the way to the bank. Coach, what's next for you?
That's a lock. That's a pure lock. Great pick. Next one, I'm also kind of putting my neck out there, just like the Oregon-Washington pick. I previewed it earlier when we were recapping last weekend's slate of football. This is going to be a rivalry that I've been on both sides of as a coach's kid in the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, a coach's kid in Notre Dame Stadium, and then also an offensive coordinator at Notre Dame Stadium. USC's visiting Notre Dame with arguably the best quarterback in football. I think the most exciting pro prospect that I've seen in my lifetime in Caleb Williams.
Really? Wow.
I do not like this, the totality of this USC team. And Notre Dame has a massive chip on their shoulder coming off of 2 of 3 weeks of just not what Notre Dame fans expect. That place will be rocking. It'll be 90% Notre Dame fans. And I believe that the O-line play and the overall just grit of Sam Hartman is going to win this football game somehow, some way. So I have Notre Dame covering -2.5.
Notre Dame. I love that those teams are playing this weekend, and I'm with you with Notre Dame. And I loved it when you took that gig. I remember I was happy for you. That's a no-brainer to me, Coach. I know you were great here in Boise, but you know, especially when you played quarterback at South Bend High School, dude. You need to go to Notre Dame.
Mishawaka, Penn, baby. Penn High School, state champs, man.
Yes.
State champs, baby.
You have to go back to Notre Dame. I totally get that. I don't want them to waste Sam Hartman's season. They get him for 1 year. He's this beautiful quarterback. I love
with an
Sam
incredible
Hartman.
beard. I mean, his beard is. I mean, he's the envy of all of us beard growers. You and I.
They're going to have 3 losses, man. They got to find a way to win that game. I think USC will win, but I'm not picking that, Coach. I'm going to go. What is it? The battle for the cannon, whatever the hell they call it when UNLV and Nevada playing football.
The Fremont Cannon. I've coached in that rivalry too.
Yes, you have.
My dad was the head coach, and he just called them the team up north. You would not call them Nevada. You wouldn't call them Reno. You wouldn't. We actually had Wolfpack stickers in all the urinals in the building.
Your dad put that in. You take a whiz on the Wolfpack logo.
I mean, maybe, or I can't say for sure, but there's rumors. There are rumors.
That's great, man. Yeah, I'm going that game. I love what Coach Odom is doing in Vegas. I mean, I've always called that a sleeping giant. I don't know if he's going to wake it up that much, but I just think there's a lot going on the sports scene in Las Vegas, and I think there's enough of a piece of the pie for UNLV to at least make a tiny mark. Get fans to go down there as a destination, too, on road games, and get the locals who love college football, who have moved there, to go see them play in that beautiful stadium. It's 9.5. This game, Coach, is in Reno. That doesn't even matter. I don't even know if fans will be. Actually, they'll be there for this one because it's the rivalry. But, Coach, I got Notre Dame. I got UNLV handling the rival Wolfpack. They're going to win this game by double digits, in my opinion. Take UNLV, lay the 9 in the hook, and you'll thank me later. All right, Coach, where are you going next?
I'm going for the battle of Rocky Mountain supremacy. This is my final pick, right? This is Boise State. Correct?
Yes, it is.
So Boise, Idaho, located in the Northern Rockies. And people here in Colorado would say that that's not the Rocky Mountains. I think that this Boise State team came together and had their turning point, their come to Jesus moment in that halftime and subsequent 30 minutes of football coming out of that 27-7 halftime deficit. And I believe that this team is going to be playing the best complete football. Boise State is going to win this game, and they're going to win it convincingly. They will cover the spread. I don't even care what the spread is.
8.5.
8.5. It doesn't matter. I knew somebody said 7.5 on the chat line. I'm going, if it was 8.5, it was 9.5, 10.5. I got it. I'll take it for 8.5. Boise State's going to claim they're going to put their flag. I got my flag flying in behind me right now, but they're going to claim their supremacy in Rocky Mountain lore here. And I think it's going to be a great game, and I can't wait to see it.
I'm going to sit on the other side of the fence here. I like Colorado State. Keep this thing close. I think Boise State's going to play in a lot of close games this year. Give me the 8.5 for the Colorado State Rams at home. All right, Coach, let's transition into mailbag real quick. Got a few questions we want to come up. Johnny Grimes says, Coach Sanford, how would you play both these quarterbacks moving forward?
I mean, I'm going to go with what I've done and my experience, and I'm going to say that you take the way the team responded in that second half to Taylor Green, and you ride TG10. But I know that that's not what's going to happen, and I'm perfectly okay with that. I'm not in every single one of those meetings. I'm not seeing the all 22 film that Bush and Andy are seeing. I trust them with how they handled it because there was proof, there was evidence in how it all came to fruition in that second half. So that's my answer. But I do think it will play out. I do believe it'll play out that there will be a clear-cut starter, and I think that it's going to happen in Fort Collins, Colorado.
I appreciate the comments coming in here. Get yours in if you want to ask questions right now for Coach Mike Sanford. All right. Overall, so you see this thing, you said kind of getting out of hand. Do you think Boise State rolls these guys, Coach?
I think they're a fragile team. I think they have a quarterback that just had a monstrosity of a game at Maverick Stadium up in Logan, Utah.
Yeah.
So I like just reading the narrative here in Colorado, being boots on the ground, in enemy territory, if you will. I think that they're licking their wounds probably more than they're focusing on the intent of beating Boise State. Mohamed Kamara, the best pass rusher in the conference, might not even be playing.
That's huge.
I think that they're a bit of a walking wounded outfit right now. I think they're going to be a phenomenal program within a year or two, and they have the exact right guy leading that program.
What's that Zin flavor you endorsed before you got into your coffee deal? Zach wants to know the best Zin flavor. Close game, 10 minutes left, Mountain West or Conference Championship on the line. What's the flavor?
I'd say my daily dose, my daily coffee, if you will, as it relates to Zin, is going to be always the chill flavor, just nice and smooth, a little mint kind of flavor to it. But if it's cooking, if the pressure's on, I'm popping some Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I'm having cinnamon flavored Zin, aka Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Okay, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. All right, there's Ball Talk Season 1, Episode 9 in the books. Appreciate everybody watching this. Watch it on YouTube. And Coach, you wanted to take some time, or we wanted to as well, for people tuning in. BJ, you can come back on this program if you're listening, but there's going to be pretty good, cool opportunities for Ball Talk fans and those who are going to be at this game on Saturday to do a little Sanford meet and greet. BJ, what's going on at BNN this weekend?
Well, Mike, we're still finalizing the details, right, of the location, so we'll give that out Saturday, hopefully, or the next day or two. But Saturday morning, we're doing the show. It's not going to be in Fort Collins, though, Mike. You can maybe fill folks in. It's going to be close by. But, yeah, we're going to do the morning show again. That's worked pretty good viewership-wise, to do the show earlier in the morning and then kind of let it circulate on social media all day. So looking forward to getting over to Colorado. We're actually going to Vegas tomorrow first. I'll be staying at Circa for basketball media days. But heading on Friday to Colorado. And, Mike, you're going to make your in-person debut pregame, and then postgame you'll be back in the coach's box. First time in the coach's box in a while for you. We're going to do the postgame show from the Boise State coach's box. Kind of ironic there, but we'll have some fun on Saturday. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, keep tuned. We'll stay tuned with the socials. We'll release the location of where we do have, our pregame show. It probably be a little bit early in the morning, but if you're staying the night anywhere in the Denver metropolitan area, Fort Collins area, you're not going to want to miss it. Love to meet you in person. And certainly my family will be around sitting in the Boise State section. BJ, you better get me some tickets, or at least tell me who to get tickets from.
I've been working on that.
I want to sit with my Broncos, and we look forward to cheering them on with you. And I can't wait to get my first loud Boise.
BJ, I'm not saying it.
I'm not either, but
Coach,
hold on.
Coach,
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second here. I got somebody that will. Hold on a second. We got to end the show. Here. We had some craziness on the post-game show the other night.
Oh, yes.
Let's let Bree. Everybody wants to hear Bree. Let's let Bree say Boise State here to finish. You want someone
tonight?
Let's go.
It's all about Boise. When I say Boise, what do you say?
State.
Boise.
State.
Boise.
State.
Let's go, guys.
Whatever Bree had, I wish I could drink that, but I'm still in my 75 hard program. So it's been 55 days, no booze. Bree, hey, I'm not gonna lie, a little envy on my part right now, seeing how sauced up you were.
November 11th, man.
We'll be in Boise.
Coach, be careful on that. Do not do. I would recommend taking it easy before you're gonna come on, man. You're a rising star in this business.
Johnny, complete pro. I'll be in suit and tie.
Yeah,
I'll be sober as a judge, man. I promise you that.
I don't think Brad Bedell and Kent Riddle had anything to drink that night.
No, I don't think
they
so.
didn't.
But Bree had a blast.
Hey, what a great show, and I can't wait to see all you Bronco Nation in Fort Collins. If you're coming out, hit me up on Twitter, DM me, whatever, at me, and we'll connect before the game. And looking forward to seeing you, BJ. You'll be right here. This will be your own little couch.
I was
right
going to ask
when you
about
come and
that.
stay.
I was going to ask if the bed's made for me, if it's ready to go yet. But
oh no, Amory's been preparing. Trust me, she's the hostess with the mostest. She'll have this place dialed up. So.
We're getting out there too, Coach. At one point, me and my lady, we're coming out and staying.
You got to come, dude. You always have a place. I would extend that to all Bronco Nation, but I think it'd be a little tough to make good on that offer.
I can't wait, Mike. I'm looking forward to it. I appreciate you. I could have easily gotten a hotel, and you're like, no, just come stay in the guest house. And
that's really cool.
Johnny, he's even taking me to the Stanford CU game on Friday night, so we'll have some reports from that.
We got a suite, man. We got a suite. My builder hooked it up. So
you got a prime suite, dude. That is.
Oh yeah, sunglasses on the whole time, BJ. The whole time.
Yeah. So stay tuned and follow us on social media on the shows, and we'll let you know Saturday if you're in the area and want to come. I'm bringing some extra BNN T-shirts with me, Mike. I got one for you as well, and a BNN hat that we're going to even hook you up with. So. We're looking forward to seeing you. Looking forward to seeing some Boise State fans. Going to be a fun week, and you guys killed it yet again.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate the show.
Season 10. I'm sorry, Season 1, Episode 10, Coach. Episode 10 next week.
Hey, man, this is a big deal. I don't think I barely stayed any place long enough for 10 episodes.
No, you never
and
did.
Here I am, man. I'm Ball Talk. This is my continuity phase of my life, man. And nobody I'd rather be doing it with you, Johnny. Awesome show as always, dude. Likewise. And I can't wait to come out and see you and take your hand.